Shirley Caesar stands among the most influential voices in American gospel music, widely celebrated for a career that has spanned decades and inspired audiences across generations. Known for her powerful vocals and expressive preaching-singing style, she earned the title Queen of Gospel through a body of work that blends church tradition with mainstream recognition. Her music has reached churches, concert halls, and national stages, carrying messages of faith, perseverance, and hope. Over time, she became not only a performer but also a pastor and cultural figure whose influence extended beyond music into ministry and community service. While her public achievements are well documented, what often gets less attention is the emotional depth behind her artistry. Her songs frequently reflect themes of struggle, endurance, and spiritual victory, resonating with listeners who see their own lives reflected in her voice. This introduction to her story is not just about fame or awards, but about how a lifetime of faith and expression shaped one of gospel's most enduring icons. Early life and formative years. Shirley Caesar was born in Durham, North Carolina, in 1938, into a large family rooted in faith, music, and working-class life. From an early age, she was surrounded by church singing and community gatherings where gospel music played a central role. Her upbringing was shaped by both hardship and strong spiritual grounding, as was common in many Southern African American communities of her time. Music became a natural outlet for expression, and she began singing in church at a young age, quickly gaining attention for her distinctive voice. These early experiences helped form the foundation of her later career, giving her both discipline and emotional depth as a performer. Rather than viewing her childhood solely through struggle or limitation, it is more accurate to see it as a period of formation, where faith, family, and music intertwined. These elements would remain central throughout her life, shaping not only her career direction but also her personal understanding of purpose and calling. The beginning of a gospel career. Shirley Caesar's entry into professional gospel music came when she joined the renowned group The Caravans in the late 1950s. This opportunity marked a turning point, allowing her voice to reach wider audiences and placing her alongside some of the most respected names in gospel at the time. Her time with the group helped refine her performance style, blending emotional intensity with structured vocal delivery. As her reputation grew, she eventually transitioned into a solo career that further elevated her influence in the genre. During this period, she also began to develop her identity as a minister, integrating preaching elements into her performances. This combination of singing and spoken word became one of her defining artistic trademarks. Her early career was not just about professional advancement, but about discovering how music and ministry could coexist in a single calling. Through touring, recording, and church appearances, she built a foundation that would sustain her for decades. Sacrifice, responsibility, and personal commitment. As her career developed, Shirley Caesar often faced the challenge of balancing professional opportunity with personal responsibility. Like many artists deeply rooted in family and faith communities, she made choices shaped not only by ambition but also by care for those around her. Gospel music, unlike purely commercial genres, is often closely tied to church obligations and community expectations, which added further complexity to her path. Her decisions reflected a recurring theme in her life: the tension between stepping forward into wider recognition and remaining present in personal commitments. These experiences contributed to her reputation as an artist who prioritized faith and responsibility over fame alone. Rather than a straightforward climb to success, her journey included pauses, adjustments, and deliberate choices shaped by values. This aspect of her life is often highlighted in discussions of her legacy, because it reveals how deeply intertwined her personal convictions are with her professional identity as a gospel artist and minister, building a legacy in music and ministry. Over the decades, Shirley Caesar established herself as both a recording artist and a respected pastor, expanding her influence beyond music into spiritual leadership. Her discography includes numerous albums that have become staples in gospel music, featuring songs that emphasize faith, perseverance, and praise. She also founded and led ministries that focused on community outreach and church leadership, reinforcing her role as a spiritual guide. Her ability to move between stage performance and sermon delivery made her a unique figure in gospel tradition. She became known for her ability to connect deeply with audiences, often turning performances into shared moments of worship rather than entertainment alone. This dual role strengthened her impact and allowed her to reach people across different contexts. Her legacy is not defined by a single achievement but by a sustained commitment to message, ministry, and music that continues to influence gospel performers today. Marriage, companionship, and shared faith. Later in life, Shirley Caesar entered into marriage with Bishop Harold I Williams, a union grounded in shared faith and mutual understanding of ministry life. Their relationship developed through their involvement in church circles and spiritual service, creating a foundation built on common purpose. Marriage brought companionship and emotional support during a stage of life already defined by public responsibility and personal demands. Together, they shared moments of ministry, travel, and community engagement, often appearing united in their spiritual mission. Like many long-term partnerships, their relationship included both joy and difficulty, shaped by the pressures of public life and leadership roles. However, at its core, their bond reflected shared belief and mutual respect. After his passing, Shirley Caesar continued her ministry while carrying the memory of their shared journey. Her experience of love and companionship added another dimension to her life story, illustrating that even public figures known for strength also build deeply personal relationships that shape their emotional world. Later career and continued influence. In her later career, Shirley Caesar continued to perform, record, and minister, maintaining her presence as a respected elder in gospel music. Even as the industry evolved, she remained relevant through her distinctive voice and ability to connect traditional gospel themes with contemporary audiences. Her influence extended into collaborations, special performances, and appearances that introduced her work to younger generations. She also received numerous awards and honors recognizing her contributions to music and ministry. Despite changes in the music industry, she preserved a consistent message rooted in faith and resilience. Her longevity is a testament not only to talent but also to adaptability and dedication. Rather than fading from public life, she transitioned into a role of legacy building, mentoring, and continued service. This stage of her journey reflects a career that did not end with peak success but evolved into sustained contribution, reinforcing her position as a foundational figure in gospel history. Experiences of loss and emotional endurance. Like many individuals who live long and public lives, Shirley Caesar has experienced moments of personal loss and emotional challenge. While details of private grief are not always publicly documented, it is widely understood that her life, like that of many elders, includes the natural passage of loved ones over time. These experiences often shape the emotional depth found in her music, where themes of endurance, comfort, and faith are prominent. Rather than defining her story through tragedy, it is more accurate to view her resilience as part of a broader human experience of aging, remembrance, and spiritual reflection. Gospel music itself is deeply rooted in expressing sorrow transformed into hope, and her work reflects that tradition. Her ability to continue performing and ministering despite life's inevitable challenges demonstrates strength grounded in faith rather than avoidance of hardship. This balance between public strength and private emotion is part of what makes her artistry so enduring. The enduring impact of a gospel icon, Shirley Caesar's influence continues to extend far beyond the boundaries of her recordings, performances, and formal ministry roles. Her legacy lives in the countless artists she has inspired, many of whom cite her as a foundational influence in their own approach to gospel music. Her style, marked by a fusion of preaching and singing, helped redefine what gospel performance could look like, making space for emotional storytelling within structured worship. Churches, choirs, and solo artists alike continue to draw from the vocal traditions she helped popularize, ensuring that her artistic fingerprint remains embedded in the genre. Beyond technique, her message-centered approach to music has reinforced the idea that gospel is not merely entertainment but testimony, teaching, and communal expression. Even as musical trends evolve, her work remains a reference point for authenticity and spiritual depth. Her enduring presence in gospel history reflects a career built not only on talent, but on consistency, conviction, and a lifelong commitment to sharing faith through sound, public image, and private reality. As a public figure, Shirley Caesar has often been viewed through the lens of her achievements, performances, and ministry leadership. However, like many long-standing artists, there is always a distinction between public persona and private life. On stage, she is known for energy, authority, and spiritual intensity, while off-stage, she has lived a more private and reserved existence. This separation is common among performers who spend decades in public ministry or entertainment. The public often sees moments of celebration, awards, and performances, while the quieter aspects of daily life remain personal. Understanding this balance is important when considering her legacy, as it prevents oversimplification of her experiences. Her story is not defined solely by triumph or struggle, but by the complexity of living a long life in both visibility and privacy. This duality adds depth to her identity as both an artist and an individual shaped by time, faith, and responsibility. Faith, service, and ongoing mission. Faith has remained the central foundation of Shirley Caesar's life and work. Throughout her career, she has consistently emphasized the importance of spiritual devotion, community service, and using one's gifts to uplift others. Her ministry work includes church leadership, outreach programs, and charitable involvement, reflecting a commitment to service beyond performance. Even in later years, she has continued to participate in events that support communities and encourage younger generations. Her approach to faith is not limited to doctrine but expressed through action, music, and personal example. This ongoing mission reinforces the idea that her influence extends beyond entertainment into lived spirituality. Her work demonstrates how gospel music can function as both artistic expression and practical ministry. By maintaining this dual focus, she has sustained relevance and respect across generations, reinforcing her role as both a performer and a servant leader within her faith tradition. A legacy of strength and song. Shirley Caesar's life and career together form a portrait of endurance, creativity, and spiritual commitment. Her journey through gospel music reflects not only artistic achievement but also a lifelong dedication to faith and service. Over time, she has become a symbol of resilience within her genre, representing the ability to sustain purpose through changing seasons of life. Her music continues to inspire listeners who find strength in its messages of hope and perseverance. While public narratives often focus on success, awards, and recognition, her deeper legacy lies in the emotional connection she has built with audiences. She stands as an example of how art and faith can merge to create lasting cultural impact. Ultimately, her story is not defined by a single moment but by decades of consistent devotion to her calling. It is this continuity of voice, belief, and mission that ensures her place in the history of gospel music remains secure.